Welcome to this new how-to. In this how-to I will show you a method of how you can practice your landing skills, or increase your landing skills probably, in Flight Simulator 2020 by using only a specific part of the world map, right? Because in some cases you might not want to perform a full flight because that might take you a little bit more time, which you don't have. And you might be able to say kind of be finished with all the tutorials which you have, which are included in Flight Simulator. So let's assume that we want to land on one of these nice airports, right? So let's assume that we want to land on Kilo Papa Hotel X-Ray. And that's the one which we're gonna set as arrival, which is the Phoenix Airport, right? That will automatically, I would say, select the active runway, which is runway 26, and will place you somewhere, I would say, in the neighborhood of Phoenix. It's called Phoenix vicinity, and you will go airborne at roughly 4,000 feet, right? So what do you need to change here? Because in this case it simply will fly from A to B and that's it, right? That's not really helpful. So the first thing you need to make sure is that you're selecting either the low or the high altitude airways, depending on what you want. And then you need to change another thing, right? Because in this case it depends on which practice or which thing you want to practice. And that's where the arrivals and approach come into, right? So the arrivals is by default set to direct and the approach is set to automatic. So let's assume that you want to practice ILS number 25 Lima. That will, I would say, make the flight plan look like this, right? So in this case, if you only want to practice the approach, you can select the approach which you want to practice, and then you're done. However, you can still see that it puts you over here, which does not make a lot of sense. So what I would recommend you to do is set, for example, the departure like this. That will bring you airborne at 5,000 feet and then directly will fly you to the approach, which will start here, and then you can fly into the airport, right? That's one of the options. But what if you also want to use the standard terminal approach route, right? That's the arrivals route. That's where you have this option for, right? So you can still select it over here. And what will happen in that case, it will add an additional part to your flight plan, right? It will include everything. However, the thing which you need to update is that custom departure, because by default it will remain, I would say, stuck in that old location. So again, if we go here and then say select this one as departure, it will move you over here, and then you can see a gray line over here, which is the other say standard terminal approach route which you can use, but in this case we prefer to use this one. There's one caveat, and that's that you can't set the altitude, right? So be aware of that. You're in most cases will put you on 5,000, but I've seen scenarios where it will put you on 10,000 feet, so that might impact how you can practice it. But I do think that this, I would say, is kind of, I would say, a valid approach to test your landing skills or to increase your landing skills for specific airports, using either the standard terminal approach routes or using the approach itself, right? If you only want to practice that last part. It all can be done using the world map, which is included in Flight Simulator 2020, so no fancy tools required. Here ends this video. It was a very short one, where we looked at how you can use the world map to schedule your, I would say, landing practice. That's probably the best wording. And I would say I find it very useful. I'm using it on a regular basis to increase my landing skills using the different aircraft which are available in Flight Simulator 2020. So I hope you found this video useful. If you liked it, then consider to use the like button. If you got questions or comments, then feel free to post them in the comment box below. And if you want to stay up to date about new videos I'm posting, then make sure that you're subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.